Today, I'm going to talk about my learnings from the book Good to Great, written by Jim Collins. Jim Collins, along with his team, studied for about 5 years various publicly traded companies in America. And his intent and desire was to find companies that consistently performed over a period of time. He took 15 years as the period between 1973 and 2000. And after studying hundreds of companies, he shortlisted 11 of them. Then he further studied this company to find out that what is so unique about this company, why they have succeeded. He also took comparable companies at the same period of time with similar business situation, headwinds, and seeing that why certain companies succeeded and others have failed. And all of those learnings are in this book. It's a fascinating read, and I'm sure you'll love it if you pick up the book and read it. In this particular video, I'm going to culminate my appreciation learning from the book, and hope you like what you hear. The first and the foremost lesson is about leadership. There are a few things I want to highlight that Jim Collins highlighted in the book. The first and the foremost, all the company's leaders across all these 11 companies that he shortlisted, who have given huge market return, outperforming the space and the period he has chosen, the leaders were not flamboyant. They are not over the top leaders coming in promising big things. They are not about themselves. They are leaders who are working literally under the cover. They are hardly been written about in papers or newspapers, and they work under the covers and they perform. Second thing, which is a great trait of any leader, is whenever something went wrong in this company, the leaders came and took blame on themselves. And whenever something really worked well, they either said we are lucky, the market conditions were good, or at the max they've gone and given the credit back to the team. So this is the second part which really struck me hard and is consistent across all the leaders that they have studied across the company. The third is creating a successor or a team that can succeed them. That was very, very critical. Most of the comparable companies, they failed because whenever a new leader came in, the strategies were changed. They were taken in a different direction altogether, wherein the companies who succeeded, the leaders created successes very nicely. They have created a team of people who can succeed them. And even if the CEO has gone, the next person in command can take the baton forward. It was very, very critical. And also one of the reasons you'll see that in most of the companies, except Fannie Mae, which was one of the examples taken, the leaders actually came from inside the company. That is very, very critical in terms of how they formulated the strategy to succeed. The second aspect of that is all of these leaders, when they were in a trying situation like Wells Fargo's CEO, when the deregulation was happening back in the day, or Walgreen from Walgreen when he was trying to reestablish the restaurant business or the food business of Walgreens into a convenient drugstore, the first thing they did was getting the right people on the bus. They didn't create a strategy and then trying to figure out the people. They were first trying to get the right people on the bus. Equally important was taking the wrong people off the bus as well. Example of Koch Walgreen, most of the people who are at that time leaders were family members. They were board members, they were part of the team, and he took the hard job of taking them off the bus as well, which is a big thing to do beyond taking the right person in the bus. And finally, putting the people on the right seat, and then thinking what strategy, what to do, and how to succeed. There's another great lessons learned in terms of focusing on people, and people become the biggest strength. Continuing on that journey, the next and very important aspect of learning is what he called it as focusing on what hedgehog concept. So hedgehog, as you know, is an animal. He has only one trick up the sleeve to escape against all the predators. It's like rolling off in a ball, and which is spikes all over. So that's how they protect themselves in the wild. In this example also is all about all the companies that he has shortlisted, or the 11 companies that he has defined in the book who have succeeded. All of these companies has a hedgehog concept. They didn't focus on multiple ideas and multiple things. It was one idea or a focus area where they want to focus on and how they can succeed in that. And doing so is not very easy. Most of this company took years to find out what they want to focus on by experimenting, by figuring out where they want to go. And then once they found it, and everyone understood it, going and taking that journey was much more easier. There are 3 steps that Jim Collins highlighted as a part of that. which the first one is to ensure that as you're trying to formulate your strategy, which is a three circle loop, as you call it, as the first and the foremost is finding that aha moment. What is that one idea that makes you the best in the world? Once you find that, is it commercially viable because you're answerable to the market, you're publicly traded, the investors there, so whatever you think that is the right thing to do which can make you the best, can it also earn you money? And the third and the most important part was, uh, is your people, are your people as well as you, are you passionate about the idea? And if that passion is in the DNA of your company, if that's the idea you want to go for and can make you money, then it's a hedgehog concept. You don't have to focus on multitude of things. And once you know that, then you can go all out. For example, Walgreens was trying to pivot, and in their change journey, their focus was to go to convenient drugstore. It took them a while to understand, but when they understood, they went all out. And to making a convenient drugstore, location was very important. At times, they've uprooted a Walgreens store from a not so right location, just about a mile away to the right location. You're trying to take a place from where people can enter from all directions. So the corner stores are very important. If you run around your car, if you go out, you'll see that Walgreens always tries to take the corner store. That came from the concept of where they want to focus on, and things of those nature. The fourth and very important part in the journey was discipline. And the critical part here is that discipline should not be trained to people. If you're managing your people too much, if you have to handhold them, if you have to monitor them, you have to control them, you have to tell them you have to be disciplined enough, that means that starting with the first concept, you got the wrong people on the bus. According to Jim, and I totally agree to him, is that people has to be self-disciplined, motivated, and passionate. And if you do not have those kind of people in the team, that means you have the wrong people on the team. And to do that, there are three concepts as a manager or as a leader, which he highlights as a level 5 leader that you need to attain to. Number one, whenever you're hiring, and if you're in doubt, never hire. Always hire the right people on the team. If you're having doubt, don't bring them on board. It's okay to take time, but get the right people on board. Second, do not delay your decision on taking a judgment or taking a decision on people. If there are certain people not working out for you, take them off the bus. And it is very important as well, because all the right people on the bus, they'll be looking at you and saying, what's going on? Why the wrong people are on the bus? Why is my manager not seeing it? And by doing that, you're making the right people also leave the bus at times because they get frustrated. And you're going to compensate the bad people behavior with the good ones. And the third and very critical aspect of this learning is that when you have the right people or the passionate people, put those people not on problems but on opportunities. It's very critical, because you need to motivate the team. You're in a growth trajectory, so you need to focus on opportunity, not on the problem set. That's on the discipline. That is very pivotal and critical. The next part of his learning was technology. A lot of companies have committed a lot on technology, which is a great thing. He doesn't say one way or the other, but the point he's trying to make it is that you cannot change a company culture or your direction just by changing technology. Technology is an enabler. It is not the force to change you from where you are to what you want to be. There are many examples on this line. I think 2000, in the year 2000, when the dot-com boom was happening, there are many examples as such. And one of the examples he took was the drugstore.com, which was trying to create or rather provide drugs on the web at your doorstep, and you can order from the web. And the valuation of drugstore went really high, and even before they started selling and before they established themselves, the dot-com boom happened and a lot of valuation happened. People are questioning companies such as Walgreens that whether they'll succeed or not. In this whole era, Walgreens didn't go and jumped upon trying to create a dot-com shop for themselves and trying to do a knee-jerk reaction. They did not do that. In fact, Walgreens was one of the first stores back in the 70s when they actually created a telecom-based connected stores across the US. So if you are in New Jersey and if you are a resident of New Jersey and you use a Walgreens for getting your medication, and if you happen to travel to, let's say, Dallas, you can get your medication there. It is a big deal back in the 70s and did that. So technology is not not different for Walgreens, and they did focus on technology later on, but it took time. They took 2 years to study the whole dot-com boom, and when they came very strong, and they announced what they wanted rather than having a knee-jerk reaction to the whole thing. So that's another very big aspect, that use technology as an enabler. Don't say that, or don't try to make technology as your defining cornerstone to changing everything, including the culture or the hedgehog concept or where you want to focus on. Finally, I want to talk about the last part of the book, which is the flywheel and the doom loop concept. So it's a classic example of what you have seen in a flywheel. So if you're a big, assume that you're a big giant wheel and you need to make turns of the wheel. The first turn you make is very difficult. It takes a long period of time, and you have to really churn hard to make it. So is the second turn, the third turn, and slowly as you're turning, maybe after the 100th turn, the momentum is built. So once the momentum is built, then you do not have to apply a lot of force. The whole wheel goes in its autonomous mode of moving faster and faster and faster and faster. That's what the companies are. Once you are on the hedgehog concept, you exactly know what you want to focus on. You need to just keep your mind, your focus, your energy, your passion on that, you along with your team, and you have to churn that wheel turn after turn till you get the momentum and you get the escape velocity. The doom loop, on the other hand, is exactly the opposite of it, right? So you focus on one strategy, it takes longer time, or a CEO change, you change the wheel direction, you put different momentum, you keep changing it, and every time you change, you have to again put the same energy back into it, and you're always a laggard. Many examples that he has taken from comparable companies are exactly the same. In some companies, leaders were very strong, did a great job when they were there, but they did not create a environment to succeed. So when they went out, so that the company came down. Or for example, when the new CEO came in, since there was no culture, no focus, the new CEO wanted to have a new strategy, discarding the all old strategy, and that also kind of impacted a lot of the companies who are in the mix. So it is a great read. The examples are phenomenal. There's a lot of learning. All the 11 companies examples that Jim Collins has taken are some are treat to eyes and treat to mind. So I will highly recommend you read the book. Hope you like what you heard. I have taken many lessons for myself as well from this book, and hopefully I can implement it in my real life as well. Looking forward to hearing your feedback and comment. Take care now. Thanks for listening.